Hi friends, and welcome back to I Am Not a Doctor, where I am not a medical professional. So I'm not worried about someone taking my medical license away for giving you the honest truth about health and wellness. We are going to be talking about something that's making big waves, the protest against Kellogg's and their use of harmful ingredients in some of their most popular cereals on the market. Now, you are in one of two groups here. Either you are like, I wouldn't touch that cereal with a 10-foot pole, or you're like, seriously, what's the big deal? If you are in the first camp, then please share this video to help spread the awareness as to why this is such a big deal. If you are in the second camp, stay tuned to learn more and maybe make some different choices when it comes to your breakfast. Alright, so what's up with Kellogg's? Recently, protesters took to the streets demanding that Kellogg remove harmful artificial dyes and preservatives from their US products. Specifically, we are talking about dyes like Red 40, Yellow 5, and Blue No. 1, which are still being used in American cereals like Fruit Loops and Apple Jacks, but have been removed in countries like Australia, the UK, and Canada. Now here's where things get tricky. Despite claims from Kellogg that they've been working on removing artificial dyes for years, the US versions of these cereals still contain these chemicals. Why? Because apparently, consumer preferences here in the US are different. I don't remember a survey going out to ask me if I would rather have chemicals in my cereal or not. How can we have an opinion on what the ingredients are if there is no other option for those of us living in the US? Does that mean we should just accept it? Let's break down why this is such a big deal. It's one thing if you're an adult consenting to consuming these additives, but if you've got kids, you should know what these artificial dyes are really doing. Children's developing bodies are far more sensitive to environmental toxins than adults. Did you know that kids consume more food per pound of body weight than adults, meaning their exposure to harmful ingredients is much higher? Combine that with the fact that children's brains and nervous systems are still developing, and you've got a recipe for long-term health problems. Studies have shown that food dyes like Red 40 and Yellow 5 have been linked to behavioral issues in children. A meta-analysis from The Lancet found that artificial food coloring can increase hyperactive behavior in kids who are otherwise healthy, not just those diagnosed with attention disorders. These behavioral effects can last for hours after consuming food with artificial dyes, which means the bowl of cereal your child eats for breakfast could affect their ability to focus for the rest of the day at school. The European Union even requires warning labels on products containing these dyes, but here in the US, we're still consuming them without a second thought. And it's not just the dyes. Many of these cereals contain BHT, a preservative banned in several countries because of its potential link to cancer. BHT is used to extend the shelf life, but what's the real cost of keeping your cereal crunchy for months? BHT is a known endocrine disruptor, which means it can mess with hormone function. Studies have shown that long-term exposure to BHT could lead to reproductive toxicity and developmental issues in children. Now, you might be asking, if these ingredients are banned in other countries, why are they still allowed here? And that's a great question. It comes down to two things: regulations and consumer awareness. In Europe, food safety laws are stricter, requiring companies to prove an ingredient is safe before it can be added to food. In the US, it's the opposite. An ingredient is considered safe until it's proven dangerous. That means we're often playing catch up with science, waiting for enough data to show a chemical is harmful before it's removed. We know enough about scientific research to know that Big Food normally funds these studies on food safety, so it's not surprising that it's not a top priority to uncover the truth about these additives in the US. California recently passed a law banning Red 40, Yellow 5, Yellow 6, and other food dyes in public schools, making it the first state in the US to take such a stand. But what about the rest of the country? Until more states follow suit or the federal government steps in, most of us are still consuming these additives regularly. So where does that leave us? Well, the first step is awareness. Start checking the labels on your food, even if a product seems healthy or is marketed to kids. Don't assume it's free from harmful ingredients. If you see red 40, yellow 5, or BHT, it's time to consider whether that product belongs in your pantry. Secondly, vote with your wallet. Companies like Kellogg's respond to consumer demand. And if more people start choosing cereals and foods without artificial dyes and preservatives, they'll be forced to make changes. We've seen this happen in other markets, so why not here in the US? Remember, they said you wanted this. Make sure they know you don't. And finally, remember that your health and your children's health isn't something to gamble with. Every bite of food we eat has an impact on our bodies, especially when it comes to processed, chemically laden foods. By making small changes like choosing cereals made with natural ingredients, you can reduce your family's exposure to harmful chemicals and contribute to a bigger movement towards safer, healthier food. At the end of the day, it's about more than just a bowl of cereal. It's about corporate accountability, food safety, and protecting our kids from ingredients that could harm their development. This is why Kellogg protests matter. It's not just about changing one brand, it's about raising awareness and demanding better standards across the board. So let me know in the comments, have you already made the switch to healthier cereals? Or are you shocked to find out what's in your breakfast bowl? Let's keep this conversation going and keep pushing for change. Again, please share this video, like and subscribe to help me help more people. Thanks for watching, and remember, you are in control of your health. It just might take changing everything you thought you knew to get to where you want to be.